Houston Texans, man, we going to the second round of the playoffs, man, against Patrick Mahomes. We believe we have a chance, man, but we lose the game 14-23. And oh, buddy, did we have a chance, man. I don't know, man. This game came down to missed field goals, a missed extra point, two roughing the passer calls that were a little questionable. And then just penalties, man. Let's talk about these missed field goals. Fairbairn kicked a, 55-yard field goal into the wind, and the wind took it away. You know what? Maybe I can't blame him for that. Then there was a missed extra point after a touchdown. After we regained momentum, got back into the game. After a Joe Mixon touchdown. I think I got to hold him responsible for that. And then the last field goal that was missed within like the last 4 minutes of the game, when it was like, hey, we're down 11. Let's just kick this field goal. And then, later on get the ball back, try to score a touchdown, and then score two, and we can tie the game. Ex-Texan Justin Reed came in and blocked it. Got us out the paint. By then, it was pretty much over. Wasn't enough time. And not only that, before that, CJ Stroud took a sack that had him limping and being helped off the field. Where realistically, he was limping all game. He was just taking too many hits. What are we going to talk about next? You have two roughing the passer calls that were, I just have a few questions about, just to have more understanding. The first one came from Will Anderson Jr. I want to say within the first or second quarter of the game. And Will Anderson Jr. had a game. I believe he had like 2 sacks or 1.5 sacks. But anywho, he had a roughing the passer penalty where him and Patrick Mahomes' face mask like barely touched. You could tell Will Anderson Jr. was trying to pull up. And this was on a potential 3-and-out play. Next thing you know, because this is called roughing the passer, the Chiefs get 15 yards, and I believe they scored on it. Did they get a field goal out of it? I think they got a field goal out of it. Anywho, okay, cool. If we're looking at the rule of the game, man, pretty much if you touch the quarterback's helmet, it's roughing the passer. Cool. We'll take that. But then the next roughing the passer penalty came towards the later parts of the game where Patrick Mahomes was running the ball. He's no longer a passer. He's a runner. And he's trying to do these last-minute juke moves. And then he goes down, pause, at the last minute, and two of my guys collide and make more contact with each other than him. And that leads to a 15-yard penalty that I believe Travis Kelce scored on. Whew. That's unfortunate, man. Then you just have random penalties here and there, man. That pretty much cost us this game. But this is the first AFC game that we were actually in throughout the whole game. CJ Stroud, my offense, Joe Mixon, Nico Collins, we were in the game. My defense was getting to Mahomes. My cornerbacks were we're doing what they needed to do, but Travis Kelce was able to score 2 touchdowns. Goodness, man. There's just some moments where we're going to look at this and be like, have we not did this? Have we not did that? Another thing, we were down by 8. I want to say it was like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We're down 8. And we go for it on 4th down. When it was like 4th and 10, and CJ Stroud takes a sack. which I believe in that moment, and this is me playing Monday morning quarterback, but I'm just reflecting back on it. I'm like, man, we should have punted and trusted our defense, man. Yet we didn't do that. Not only that, it was like the play clock was running down. I feel like it was a rush decision. And even if we chose to go for it on 4th and 10, which I disagree with, at worst, I think we should have taken a timeout and just kind of gathered ourselves to where we're not just trying to rush something. But by that point, that's when the game started to go south, man. But I don't know, man. CJ Stroud took a lot of hits. Pretty decent season. Even though, losing this game is a downer, I do see us taking strides. And next year I can honestly say, man, Super Bowl or bust. Super Bowl or bust. I don't know what you do with Fairbairn after this game. I don't know. I don't want to make decisions in the moment. It's just, just some things you got to look at. Bobby Slowick is probably going to be a head coach somewhere else. So there may be a new offensive system or not. Maybe we bring up, somebody that's already on our staff to be an offensive coordinator. But we got to get this O-line right, get some guys back healthy. Maybe focus free agency and the draft, or the draft and free agency towards getting this O-line right. Then you got to figure out some receivers, because it's possible that Tank Dell can miss this whole year. So do you re-sign Stephon Diggs? Do you go a different direction? It's, just some things we got to figure out, man. But good season. Texans fans, you can't be upset, because this season was a little janky, but you still made it to the second round and you were in the game against the Chiefs. You got to think about us in the past, man. The past 2 semifinal AFC games we were in. This one, we're in the game. This is the most we've ever been in a AFC semifinals game. Then you got to think about last year. You were tied at the half with the Ravens. Then they just ran off on us in the second half. So, you're taking steps. You would have loved to have gotten to the AFC. I would love to have made this an AFC championship hat. But, that's not the case. And next year, man, we just we do some things differently. Focus on this O-line. Focus on getting another receiver. And go from there, man. We got to protect CJ Stroud, man. But y'all know what it is, man. Houston Texans. Good season. Next year it's time to take another step. Y'all know what it is, man. H-Town all day. Y'all mucho, take it easy. Christopher Robinson, man. I'll see y'all next year.